Well, hello, welcome back to another live stream repair. We've got a couple HomePods and not a whole lot of time, so we're going to try to cruise through as much as we can. The first one up today is from Kazi with no power. So this should be a pretty easy, straightforward repair. Let's let them know. Let's get their box opened up. Oh, looks like a box came apart. Looks fine. Yeah, it looks alright. So let's of course kick things off by checking our symptoms with a known good power cable here. I'm just working on my other camera. Alright. So, no response, no nothing up there, and yet 6 watts of power draw from the wall. So, yes, indeed, looks like we've got another one of those dead diodes. Who's messaging me? Oh, that's an old message. Let's take this apart and see what's going on inside. I'm starting to run out of room on here. Oh, good. Yes. Okay. It's the mail. What did we get in the mail? heavy, whatever it is. Subwoofer smells satisfactory. No serious concerns over there. Always got to give the subwoofer a good sniff. You never know. You never know what your nose might encounter. Get that ribbon cable disconnected before we forget it. And you might be thinking, oh geez, I thought that was the power supply that he just took out and this thing isn't powering on. Why is he going for the amplifier? Ah, well. So this problem isn't typically anything to do with the power supply or what you might think. It is rather a batch of these bad diodes floating around inside of these HomePods that are failing for no reason other than poor quality. And we know which ones they are based on the date code. Unfortunately, on the diode, there's no way to tell by the serial number on the outside of the HomePod, so you got to take it apart to find out. But at least 9 times out of 10 with these no power HomePods, it's the same bad diode that failed. But it's on the amplifier, not the power supply or the logic board or display or anything. So you might be wondering, well, why does a problem on the amplifier prevent the whole thing from turning on? That is because the logic board and the display get its power through the amplifier. It doesn't get its power directly from the power supply. It connects through the amplifier. So if there's a major fault on the amplifier preventing it from working properly, chances are it's going to take the rest of the system down with it. Especially considering the logic board and the display are at the very end of the chain, per se, of logic and power in these things. When you're looking at the ribbon cable here. A logic board goes onto this, and then the display actually plugs into the logic board, and all that has to go into the amplifier and then through the amp, and then it gets its juice from the power supply here through the amp again. So that is why this problem on the amplifier takes the whole thing down with it. We're going to go up close and I'll show you guys what I'm talking about with that diode there. So you can see we've got a date code of 1746K. 17 is the year that it was made, so 2017. 46K is the week of the year, so week 46. We consistently see 1746K and 1748K diodes failing, and we've had plenty of other ones in the shop here with completely unrelated or different issues to have a good enough sample size to say with pretty much 100% certainty now that this is a nothing more than just a bad batch of these diodes floating around, and those date codes are the ones that are affected. So let's double check. Yep. Yeah, that diode is dead. If you don't see 1746K or 1748K on your diode, if you're doing this repair yourself, chances are it's not your problem in the first place, and you don't even need to worry about replacing it. Now, if you are working on a HomePod, and you do happen to notice that the date code on that diode, even though it still works, has 1746K or 48K on it, I would strongly suggest just going ahead and replacing it, because, like I was saying, too many of those ones are failing, and ones outside of that specific date range don't have any problems. Unfortunately, I got a message from someone that was like, well, I was helping them with work, setting up a demo system, and I was like, do you want to add a camera to this really quick and make sure that, like, everything actually works? And they were like, nah, we're good, I'll check it later or whatever. I'm like, alright, I got all the time to, you know, hang out and let you do it if you want. They were like, nah, I'm good. So, okay. I'm signing off work for the day. I got stuff to do. And they just hit me up saying, hey, I can't get cameras working. Can you help? Well, I actually used the wrong solder on that. Totally spaced. No, get off! Okay. Hey Nick, I tried fixing a HomePod yesterday and it didn't turn on. I was bummed. I replaced the diode and it didn't work. My first question, of course, is were you able to confirm the diode, the original diode was even dead in the first place? And then my follow-up question is, at the very least, are you able to see if there is still a short on there, or is there no short? Does that look good? It was dead. Okay. My next question, yeah, does it test fine now with it installed on the board? Okay, we've got a new diode on there. That should be all this amp needs. So, Also, Mike, you can use this as a reference. You can go ahead and pause the stream if you need to and blow this up, but check and see if you're missing any components. Maybe you bumped something. You've got your little cap here. You've got two more little caps up here. Obviously this big one. And then I'm curious if you bumped your step-down converter here at all. On occasion, when we find a dead diode, we do also find a dead step-down converter. I haven't found a great way to test and see if the step-down is bad or not yet without just replacing it with a good one and seeing if it works. That's like a 1 in like 40 or 50 chance if it's got no power that's also a problem. It's pretty rare. So, at least with my kilowatt meter here, it would not be accurate enough for us to diagnose what exactly is wrong beyond 0 watts of power draw being a blown fuse, a couple watts of power draw likely being the diode. That's the thing, is it's likely the diode, purely based on the frequency of that particular failure. Beyond that, we are not too certain of how much power draw each of the other failures tend to draw unless we noted it on the website under that common issue. That's actually a good point, though. But it's not the most accurate way either, because our kilowatt meter is very slow. It says that we're pulling 6 watts of power from the wall, when in reality, if you have a faster meter, you can actually see the HomePod rapidly turning on and back off as soon as it detects a fault or a short. It's very rapid. Fluctuates between like 0 to 1 watts of power draw and like 7 to 10 watts at most, I think. So, very tricky. At least to somebody not as experienced with meters and there's a lot to learn about them. Let's see if this is working. Yes, indeed. And then of course, if all that other stuff checks out, I would be double checking, you know, the ribbon cable connection into the amplifier board, making sure the display wasn't damaged or like any ribbon cables were damaged or cut. You know. So this one looks good, sounds good, great offset. We can put it together now. Your screwdriver keeps losing its magnetic grab. I've had it happen whenever I leave my screwdriver near any magnets. So like maybe you've got like a subwoofer or like a speaker sitting around and you've got the screwdriver sitting near it. That's the only time I've had that happen. I haven't had it just demagnetized by itself. On the flip side, I can't get this damn thing to magnetize, so no matter how long I stick it on stick it on a magnetizer or just a straight magnet. If the display was damaged, it's entirely possible that so actually, let me ask you this. I'm guessing the answer is no, but was this HomePod already set up with your home? Because if it was, you can actually power the HomePod on without a display connected. You still need the logic board connected, but you don't need a display plugged in for it to actually boot up and for you to be able to connect to it via AirPlay and play music through it. But if you did not have it previously set up with your home, and the reason why I'm guessing why you didn't is probably because you bought this one in broken condition from somebody else. So, hard to say without another display. This is why I suggest people like buy a broken HomePod for parts, to have like a spare set of parts to like sanity check and test things. So that way you're not banging your head on the wall, you know, spending hours troubleshooting and trying to fix an issue on the amplifier, when in reality it's actually like a logic board or a broken display issue, or like a torn cable and the tear is just too small for you to see. It's very, very, very handy to have a full set of parts. But yes, it's entirely possible for a damaged display to either prevent it from powering on at all because of the fault in it, causing like some sort of short circuit and keeping it in like some sort of protect mode. Or it could possibly be working, and since the display again would be broken, then it's just not, the display isn't functioning, but it's still able to turn on. A broken display can cause weird issues, ranging from it not powering on at all to it actually powering on but not lighting up at all to it like randomly blinking and restarting or boot looping. Very uncommon. Don't email me, hey, can you look at my blinking volume buttons HomePod? I think it's the display. No, it's most likely not the display. But for ones where you have messed with them, where you have taken them apart, I would suspect broken parts somewhere. Yeah, try a different display. Try a different logic board. Well, the logic board's a little harder to get to than the display, but at least the display gives you something to try in sanity checks, especially since you said you were having a hard time with it. It'll give you a good starting point. Ideally, it's one that you or I have already fixed, so that way when you go to take it apart, it's a lot easier, and you don't run the risk of breaking anything. That is why we don't use any glue to glue these back together where Apple did right here. First of all, it provides no practical benefit, and there's no negative effect in not replacing it or just ripping it out entirely. And two, in the future, somebody is going to want to take it apart again for whatever reason, and it's going to be a lot easier and again significantly reduce the risk if the thing isn't glued together. Also, honorable mention for a point to make would be the fact that the second gen HomePod doesn't use any glue at all anywhere. All gaskets. Oh, we didn't even put the, we didn't put the subwoofer gasket back in. I was like, this feels oddly easy to push in. Normally there's a lot more resistance to it because it's a sealed unit. And, wow, sure enough, this will sound like absolute ass if we don't put this in. And I don't mean like metaphorically speaking. I literally mean it will sound like someone's butt every time the bass hits. Something like that. You should almost be able to remove the plastic top with just your bare hands if it's been taken apart before. That feels more like it. Okay, we're all sealed up, so we can put our basket down. Maybe. There we go. Hey, Kazi, glad you made it. Welcome to the chat. Someone's been in here. That's a Sharpie mark, and that's not from me. And it's probably from the factory. But still. Oh, and also there's like a little blue stain like on the inside of this here. I don't know what that's about. You can see it just on you won't see it when it's put back together, so I have no idea how it got there. Again, probably like a factory thing, but like what? Not that's totally fine though. Not like that time that we just straight up found a loose screw floating inside one of these. I'll have to try to go back and find that live stream. That will take a while. And that is all my fault for not putting better descriptions in my live streams. Bass! How low can you go? The HomePod can go to about 45 hertz, which does technically qualify it as a subwoofer. Subwoofer.
here, come back in there.
You get in there. Okay. Drawstrings are stuffed into place. Let's seal this back up. I was on my way back from UPS today, man. I had the T-tops off in the Z. Like 2 blocks away from home. Having a blast. About to come inside and do a repair stream. 25 miles an hour. And this freaking school bus comes flying up behind me. Riding my ass. Straight up like 2 or 3 feet between me and him. I'm like, what the heck? So I drive with both feet. I lightly push on the brake pedal while I'm maintaining my speed, just to make it look like I'm about to slow down, so that way they give me more space, which works for a few seconds, and then they come right back up onto my ass. So I just stick my hand out through the top of the T-top window, and I kind of just wave at him like, bro, can you back up, please? You're literally in a school bus. I feel like you shouldn't be doing this. And it's also like 25 miles an hour through here. Like, calm down. You should not be in a rush. Nah. Turned into my neighborhood, and that's, of course, he wasn't like following me, so he just kept going on. Probably speeding or something, I don't know. Just kind of blew my mind. Big fat yellow school bus. It's like, aren't I why is the school bus riding the sports car's ass? Isn't the sports car supposed to be riding the school bus's ass? Apologies for the crude language, but I don't think it's crude. All right. Does it work? Yes. Well, folks, that's actually about all that we have time for here and now. We do still have 2 more to fix up, so if you aren't, please subscribe to the channel and keep an eye out for when we do go live either later tonight or tomorrow with at least 2 more HomePods to fix up. I'm sure this isn't going to be slowing down anytime soon, and surprise, surprise, somebody reached out to me via email to let me know that they were having issues with their 2nd-gen HomePod. So there may be absolutely no end in sight. We will see. Talk to me.
I'm having trouble connecting to the internet.
Yeah!
I'm having trouble connecting.
Alright, volume buttons light up nice and even. Sounds good, looks good. Kazi, keep an eye out. I will email you here a few minutes after we end the stream with how you can pay, and we'll get it shipped back to you ASAP. Everybody else, if you're curious on getting more info on how to do your own HomePod repairs, or finding me or somebody else around the world doing the same thing, check out the website nixfix.com. I hope you all enjoyed this live stream repair, and I will catch you in the next one.